And back here in Puyallup, Washington on the Bruin Sports Network, along with Chris Lumsden, Justin Sweeney coming to you from the South Side Press Box, where we are witnessing one team is well seasoned, the veteran presence, taking it to and teaching a number of lessons against a young upstart Bruins team. It's PLU leading the road team today. George Fox 42-0 after PLU cashed in on Dalton Ritchie's third touchdown run of the day. They'll kick it off, and it'll be brought out by Lane Hadley out to the right side, scoping it to the 25 and picking up a few more before being bounced out of bounds around the 28-yard line where the Bruins will get started.
360 yards of total offense for PLU today. Not only that, but Nico Madison, 166 yards rushing on only 22 carries. That's an average of 7.3 yards a carry. 27 yards was his long. He's got a couple touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns for Dalton Ritchie. So both those seniors, the two guys we knew were going to be big offensive pushes for the Lutes today, they're just having a field day against this Bruins defense.
Toby Webb returns as quarterback for George Fox. Handoff up the middle to the big man Makishu, powering in for a gain of about 5 for George Fox. So the Bruins trying to make a concerted effort to run it better on the ground. Schaefer is checked in for the Bruins as well. Andrew Kettleson lined up on the left side at receiver for the Bruins, setting up 2nd and 6 as we've crossed the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. Bruins trailing yet to score today, losing 42-0 against PLU here on Pacific Lutheran Senior Day. From the gun, low snap, handoff to Makishu, powering through, ambling for a couple more out to the left end near the hash mark, and he'll pick up maybe 3 on the run, setting up 3rd and very short for the Bruins here.
Same play running to Makishu, but a manageable 3rd down, and wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to him again every time they've handed him the ball. He's gotten at least 3 or 4 yards, but I don't see Makishu out on this play, so he'll have to do something else.
3rd and 2 to be exact now. From the Bruins' 35-yard line, Webb in shotgun with 1 running back in the backfield, 3 receivers slotted out right. Low snap, he lost it. He had to bend down to regather it. Now wrapped up, slung to the ground, and a bad snap which doomed that play for the Bruins from the start. It's going to set up 4th and 5, and the Bruins punting unit is back out on the field quickly.
Yeah, Brandstedter's just had a rough afternoon between the low snaps, and it looks like he's kind of jogging back slowly when he got hit, and it was on the ground earlier in the second half. I think he's just a little beat up, but still it's really hurting Webb as he just had no shot. The ball was down by his shoes when he was trying to get the play started, and now we're having the punt team out.
Makishu back to punt from the 15-yard line, end over end sailing punt, being guided back to the 32-yard line, clipped up by Cummings. Cummings advancing it up the right sideline, looking for more, and finally spun and tackled by George Fox.
Nice return there without much room, working up the sideline for a good 17-yard return.
From PLU, just like that, starting another drive in George Fox territory with 4:29 to go. George Fox certainly has taken a number of wallopings this season. They were shut out twice, first against mighty Linfield and then against Pacific 36-0 a couple of weeks ago. That Linfield game, they fell 59-0. Right now, PLU nearing that territory as they look to apply the wood again to George Fox, ahead 42-0 and looking for more. Ritchie back in the game. He started, and John Schaub got a little bit of playing time towards the end of the first half. They try a slant pass on the right end looking for Warner, but he dropped it, started to make a move before he could bring in the football. It'll set up 2nd and 10 with 4:26 to go in the second half. So Ritchie and a couple of these seniors back out on the field and enjoying their final moments as seniors and members of a collegiate football program, and doing it against a George Fox defense, which is bent at times, but also had some impressive stands along the way this afternoon, primarily the first offensive drive by PLU, which they turned over on downs.
Yeah, they've had a good few positives today, but mostly it's been all Ritchie and Madison's show. They've looked really impressive on offense.
2nd and 10, play action handoff, a delayed handoff, which goes to Mark Gallant, the running back out of San Carlos, California, young freshman, which will highlight the next wave of the running attack for PLU. They'll have him for 3 more years, and a good sign to see there. If you're a PLU fan, they're going to have some big shoes to fill after Nico Madison graduates. He's on to playing his final game as a PLU Lute or collegiate athlete this afternoon.
Always a hard thing to do, to replace a solid running back, and especially a quarterback who acts like a running back with such an impressive mark for Ritchie with over 900 yards on the ground this season.
3rd and 3 for PLU from the Bruins' 42-yard line. Ritchie back throwing a slant. That one sailed wide of his intended receiver, Richard Johnson. Pass goes incomplete and sets up 4th and short. And for, I believe, the first time today, we're going to see the punting unit out here for PLU.
You got to keep him warm. It's really cold on this PLU side, and for the guys on the bench, they just need to get some movement. And so the punter finally getting out there with some playing time, and we'll see if the Bruins can maybe make something happen on special teams, because offense and defense has been not too great today against this vaunted Lutz team.
Yeah, it's going to be, let's see, as we take a look around at our rosters back here, Dalton Moe to receive for George Fox. And the punter had trouble handling the punt, regathered it, got it away. This one's going to take a favorable George Fox direction and field it in by Moe. He'll wave for the fair catch, smack dab at the 10-yard line for George Fox. PLU punched that a one away, and given how much trouble George Fox's offense has had today mustering even first downs, they win the battle of field position there.
And Tieto was licking his lips because the punter was juggling the ball, and he almost got in there to block it. That would have been a different change of pace for the Bruins, but good job by the punter to at least get it away. And George Fox now pinned close to their own end zone at the 10-yard line to start this drive.
The Bruins are going to have to struggle to get some extra space against PLU as Webb arises under center, and he mishandled the snap, fighting to get it back. He's down. If the Bruins retrieve the football, it's going to push him back for a loss of nearly 5 here.
That's got to be really frustrating for Coach Casey. This is the stuff that you don't really feel like you have to practice as much. You're trying to run your plays, execute your routes, and your blocking schemes, and then you can't even get the ball back to the quarterback. So that's been frustrating, I think, for this team, is just not getting the plays started off right. So that's something they'll work on going forward.
Bruins load the backfield on 1st and 15 from their own 6-yard line, loading the backfield with a fullback, Cook, to clear some space for Ryan Comstock, the bigger of the two running backs between he and John Schaefer. Handoff goes to Comstock, and he'll pick up maybe one on the rush, setting up 3rd and long for the Bruins with 2:42 to go in the third quarter, and the Bruins trailing by a ton right now, down 42-0 against the hometown Pacific Lutheran Lutz, with one Bruin checking in late. Looks to be Ryan Russo, gliding to the left side as the Bruins line up here. One receiver, Russo, out on the left side, another on the right. Might be Lander from my obscured vantage point. Webb shifting back into the end zone, sets and fires, launching it to the left side. Hadley clearing out space. Catch is made, but there was a pretty clear push there coming on the Bruins side, and this may be OPI coming back. Meanwhile, he gets a little away there from one of the sideline coaches. Despite the overturn here, he appreciated the effort.
You got to do what you can. I mean, that was a well-thrown ball, and Hadley, I don't know if he necessarily had to push off of him, but still did what he could to get some space, and the refs were all over that. They were watching that the whole way.
Looked like assistant head coach Judd Kime with the extra pad on the back there for Hadley.
So that'll push him back to about the 4-yard line. In the last couple plays, Justin, the Bruins going under center as opposed to their normal work out of the shotgun, just because they've had trouble getting the ball back to Toby Webb. And so we'll see if they go in the shotgun this time like they normally do, or they might have Webb under center, which just doesn't give him a lot of time to get rid of the ball before these defensive linemen are right in his back pocket. But still, that last one, good throw by Webb, getting it out to the far left side for that 30-yard completion, but still the penalty.
3rd and 13, Webb stepping back, releasing from the end zone, trying to air it out, and overshot Hadley by about 7 yards there, looking for the long ball, setting up 4th and long deep in the Bruins' backside of the field. They'll have to punt this from deep in the end zone, and just to make an objective observation here, not necessarily campaigning for one quarterback over the other, but just based on what we've seen from Toby Webb, who's appeared in some very slim spurts. I like what I've seen from his arm. He obviously needs to find his target, but Toby Webb certainly not shy about his ability to air it out, and with the next season shaping up, you never know what's going to happen from season to season. Chris Casey juggling around certainly plenty of options as he looks ahead. This reeled in on the kick by Cummings at the Bruins' 35-yard line, spins away from one tackler and brings it up to the 20-yard line. PLU with very short real estate here to move in and cash in on what would be their 7th touchdown of the afternoon, still with 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
And it's just fundamentals for this young Bruins team. Cummings should have been down back at the 35, a couple broken tackles, and he's averaged on the kicks that he hasn't called fair catch. He's averaged at least, I would say, 10 or 15 yards a return. So even on special teams, Bruins definitely have some work to do.
So PLU will get it started officially from the Bruins' 22-yard line. Ritchie back in from the shotgun, stepping back, looking left, slinging it over the middle. Pass complete to the tight end, Lucas Santra. Santra on the catch, picking up about 6. And PLU keeps moving it in. Lucas Santra today for PLU, his third catch. 27 yards off of those 3 receptions. The big playmaker today in terms of receivers has been Kyle Warner, unsurprisingly. 6 grabs for 70 yards for the Lutes. Nico Madison lined up directly behind the quarterback, Ritchie, who is now under center for the Lutes, getting ready to snap this from the 15-yard line on 2nd and 2 with 1:15 to go in the third quarter. Hand off to Madison, dancing around up the middle, and it may be enough, close to the first down for PLU.
I think that'll move the chains for the Lutes here, but they may call for a measurement here. We'll see what the refs decide, and
they'll keep on going here.
I haven't seen the first down call. No, they're going to say third down at about half a yard.
Half a yard. Ritchie back out on here on third down, inside a minute to go in the third. Lutz gets set. Warner slotted out to the right side, along with Austin Hilliker. Barrett lined up on the left side. That's the other wide receiver, Fernando Barrett, another senior who comes from Horizon Christian High School near the Portland metro area. They sling it out to the right side to Hilliker, complete, and Hilliker, this will be close as well, as it was just a half yard necessary, and they are waiting for official indication. One marker man is moving, and now everyone is moving. That's enough for the first down. 26 seconds to go in the third. And it's 1st and goal now for the Lutes from just inside the 10-yard line, so they'll need nearly the full 10 here for the touchdown.
And that's a play that the Lutes have executed really well, just that quick out and spreading the field. It's just almost a guaranteed 5 yards if you can make the completion. For the Bruins, you got to think that's something that Webb maybe has in his arsenal, because, yes, he has shown an arm. Those last couple throws, he's been able to get out pretty quickly, and that's something that Schroeder wasn't showing earlier today. But just those quick hits, nothing going for the Bruins on the passing attack, as opposed to PLU, where they're able to get pretty much everything going when Ritchie throws the ball.
With the conversion, the clock ticked to 0 to end the third quarter. The 11 PLU Lutes walk together, hands held together, signifying unity. As always, the crowd rises to its feet. The final 15 on its way. After 3 quarters of play, Lutes maintaining their firm grasp on this game, leading the Bruins 42-0. This is the Bruins Sports Network.